Okay, yo, welcome back, welcome to the channel. It is, you know who I am. You clicked on the video. Okay, so, today, I don't know what you would call this. I guess it's like, it's not a podcast, it's not the news, but, but he's one of my favorite YouTubers. So we're gonna check out today a guy named Tommy Sotomayor. So I've been watching this dude maybe what, 7, 8 years, somewhere right around there, somewhere in that time period. But because I remember like when I just first used to like I guess really watch YouTube, this dude was always like he just kept popping up in my mentions. Oh, not mentions, like popping up on my feed for like videos to watch. And he has like 8 different YouTube channels or something like that. Like it's like the Tommy Sotomayor channel, then it's like TNN Raw, TNN Raw 2, TNN News. Then now I think he has like an OnlyFans. He posts those videos. Then he has the Tommy Sotomayor like podcast. So he has that too. I think this is just on his Tommy Sotomayor Raw News page. But then he has like, then it's like his Tommy Sotomayor page too. So I just gave you all the whole rundown of all of them, but that's what this is. So he does these like every single day. He posts like on all these different ones. I think like he'll go through like, I guess a time period like of just using one and then he'll like just use the other. I'm not sure exactly. I just know he still just always pops up. But I felt, anyway, why I gave you the whole rundown is, so this popped up the other day to me, and I feel like he's a guy that a lot of people should listen to. He has like a lot of good perspectives, and a lot of perspectives that I agree with, and I really take into account what he says. Because you'll see what I'm talking about when I get started on the video. A lot of things I do agree with. Sometimes I think he gets a little out of pocket, but I don't want that to take away from. I don't let that take away from his overall message of stuff he says. You'll have to go back to some of his older videos to get like his full views on stuff, but he's just a really great YouTuber to look at for like current events about not particularly just race, but like but just those hot button issues that we see a lot in the news dealing with race. That makes sense. So all right, anyway, we're gonna jump into this today. Check this out. I'm sure you guys can see by the title. He's talking about an incident that happened. I believe it was well, it says right there, yeah, in Miami. But something about people down there during spring break, like fighting and stuff like that, and it's causing all these issues for him. So I'll let him talk though.
Black people. Amidst the COVID and the Black Lives Matter, I've told y'all that they've gotten to the point where they just don't respect authority. And let me tell you what happened in Miami Beach during so-called spring break. South Beach, you want to go and have some fun and get in the water. But we know this ain't going to happen because there's a lot of black holes down there with a bunch of weave, and they ain't down there to get in the water to swim or nothing because niggas can't swim. You know why we go to South Beach?
Okay, just really quick. I only laugh because that just brings up some memories. That is something I think that's brought up like quite a bit, I guess, in the black community, is that like if they have a pool party, that a lot of people know people won't really get into the pool. I don't know if it's joked about amongst other races about black people. But I know black people bring it up. Like if you go to like a pool party of predominantly black people, then people say that there is like some jokes. They're like, man, you know, nobody's getting in there, like stuff like that. And it does come down particularly to a lot of like black girls. You will see though where like a lot of black guys will get into the pool, but girls, like, they want to look nice, and they do just get their hair done. I don't know if it deals with the weave part. I'm not sure how all that works, but I do know a lot of them just won't get in because they don't want to mess up their hair. They still want to look nice while they're out there having fun. But I just think it's funny because it brings up memories of times where, like, I've seen some people, like, get into some real heated interactions because, like, somebody either got too close to pushing somebody into the pool, or they did push them in and it did cause, like, their hair to mess up. And it's an absolute issue. So that's just funny to me. Because, I mean, Miami, you think of the beach, water, you know, it's the same at pool parties. So it's just, anyway.
Beach, to be a dick, to walk around and to loiter, which is why a lot of people don't want black people around them. They ain't spending shit, just like when you go to Lenox Mall. They ain't spending shit in Lenox Mall, they're just walking around Lenox Mall. They ain't spending shit on South Beach, they're just walking around South Beach. They ain't spending shit wherever your store is, they're just walking around that motherfucker. And as I told y'all, it seemed like they claim that they're afraid of white cops, but they sure don't have a problem testing them. Let's take a look.
Hairs flying in this fight.
7 news at 10.
First up on the night team, only in Dade, sharing video of a big South Beach brawl. Fists and chairs flying in this fight. Hello again, the surge in violence.
My only thing with this is, like, just watching that video, I don't know all what happened right there, but, like, okay, you do spend a good amount of money to go down on spring break. Like, I've been on numerous spring breaks, like, through college. And I mean, I'm talking like going to the beach, going on cruises, you know, like you spend a good bit on, like, as far as the room, food, travel to and from. So then why would you, I've never understood, like, why you would do that, spend all that money and then go to a place and then put all of your possible fun in jeopardy. Like, by loitering somebody's place, doing damage to something, you know, like, or causing yourself to be arrested. Even because I'm thinking back to, like, when I took cruises out of the country, like, if you did any of that stuff in, like, those other countries and you got locked up there, like, now your parents have to try to find a way to get you back. That's just a whole issue. I mean, I know this is in Miami, so I mean, I guess they're already in the States, so they don't have to worry about it too much. But it's like, that's you're still putting all the money that you worked hard to pay for in jeopardy, just for what? Like, I don't know, an issue that you possibly could have walked away from.
Blacks love each other so much, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I want y'all to understand this. Blacks love each other so damn much that we start throwing chairs and try to kick each other in the head. Somebody tell me when I'm lying. We try to break each other's necks in simple ass fights.
Facts.
Simple fights. Blacks try to kill each other.
Friday night and continued through the weekend as spring breakers flocked to South Florida.
The mayor of Miami Beach says the city has zero tolerance for any tourists coming here and causing trouble. The night team's Franklin White live on South Beach with the latest for us. Franklin?
And even in a pandemic, spring break 2021 already off to a chaotic start. And the mayor and police, as you mentioned, telling me they will arrest anyone creating crime. Fists flying on the cop car. Dirty dancing.
Look at this shit.
She was dancing on the car?
And a beach body slam.
Fish flying. So while this was going on, of course, a black bitch jumped on top of the car and showed her ass.
Just the latest batch of...
Okay, and just to add on to that, bro, okay. That's what I thought that looked like, was her dancing on the police car. Yo, okay, that is like just enticing them to do something to you. Like, that's government property and you're standing on it dancing. I mean, they can take that and say, oh, you're possibly vandalizing government property. What?
Bad behavior on South Beach. during spring break.
This week so far, we've seen over 100 arrests.
Social media sites only in Dade giving us these violent viral videos showing
That's a guy and a girl.
and rowdy beach brawls along Ocean Drive.
Y'all do know that's a woman fighting a man.
Yeah, that's what
Y'all do know that's a woman fighting a man. Yeah, it was a police car that she got on top of and twerked. So do y'all believe that these people are afraid of the cops?
With chair throwing and hair pulling intense moments. One matchup between a man and woman. Some fights doing damage to local businesses. Spilling into the Breakwater Hotel and Cafe Milano. And just a day before these fights, there was this. A cop caught on camera slamming 19-year-old James Harrison.
That man was inside of that crowd, inciting the rest of the crowd.
Who also became aggressive towards police and resisted arrest, police say, by grabbing an officer's vest, which Miami Beach police say led to this tough takedown.
slammed him.
The objective of getting that violent man into custody was achieved.
That guy was arrested and bonded out. Police telling us that there were 100 arrests, 42 were felonies. Miami Beach Mayor Dan Gilbert telling me they
42 felonies? I wonder if that girl dancing on the car, if they consider that a felony. 'Cause I'll tell you, I would imagine they would say something like that would be. Because it's government property. Like, but dude, 42. Just think about that. You just paid all this money to go on spring break. All this money. And now you have something that's going on your permanent record because you did something so silly as far as when you're supposed to be having fun. Man.
They have a zero tolerance for anyone coming here creating trouble.
We don't want the altercations, we don't want the arrests, but if we have to, we will, because we have to have some measure of control over our environment.
Aside from battling crime, the city is also battling a pending pandemic with multiple virus.
Look how these
variants
bitches
in the
walk around
city.
in public.
And while many are still not wearing masks or being socially distant, it's the people creating crime that the mayor says may have an extended spring break in South Florida.
We're arresting a lot of people right now. We don't like it, but we're going to do it because we don't have another option, because the option of letting people run wild is just not one we can tolerate.
I mean, you can't, with that many people, I mean, everybody, I would imagine a lot of people watching this have been a spring break. Just think about wherever you have been a spring break at, how many people that is. So if you just let one thing slide after another, I mean, you will have a full-on riot on your hands if people decide to, you know, take part. Excuse me. And that's what it looks like is happening there. So, like, what the police have to be, I guess, overly aggressive to put a stop to it, or else they will lose control of this area because there's so many people coming in.
Along with the arrest, cops also seizing 13 guns. Reporting live on South Beach tonight, Franklin White, 7 News, 19.
I bet Franklin wish he was white. Now think about it. Think about that. 100 arrests. What's supposed to be a fun time. We love to say that white people don't want us around. Well, why the fuck would they? When we don't hear about this, when their teens are going to have a good time. When their teens are enjoying it. Why is it we only hear about niggas going somewhere? These women are dressed to try and seduce men, but then they want to fight all the fucking time. Which is it? Are you trying to be sexy or are you trying to be a savage? But that's the problem, because they got people like Megan Thee Stallion telling them that they can be a sexy savage. A lot of you guys that have seen my other videos,
kind of know my stance on some of those songs, particularly like that one. Well, I think Tom McDonald addressed it when he was talking about, you know, like how they push Cardi B as like this role model for girls. I feel like Megan Thee Stallion could fall into that same category of how they kind of push her as a role model, but then you see like what she does and like speaks about, and then if you look at that and you say what she says and does to be applied to my child, like what I want my child to exemplify that to the rest of the world. I don't know too many people that would be like, hell yeah. Like, no, I think most people are going to be like, absolutely not. Like, they wouldn't want that at all.
See, Savage, this is what hurts me. You should be able to go down there and get you some pussy and go home. That's what spring break was supposed to be about. I went to a white high school. The whole thought of spring break never crossed our mind that spring break was about fighting. Never. The whole thought of spring break when I was in high school and left high school was that you go to spring break to go get your dick sucked, to go have a little bit of fun, throw water on each other, hang out, and you go home with a story to tell. But for some odd reason, no matter where you go with black folks, fighting, violence occurs. Now, white people are not supposed to profile black folks. Nope. They're not supposed to view black.
I just want everybody to read this comment right here. What he said and what this comment is right here is how spring break should go. Okay. Let's just keep going.
Blacks as violent. And blacks want the world to believe that they're afraid of cops. But if you're watching this anywhere around the world, or you're white and you're watching this, I've told you several times, it's a lie. Black people are not afraid of cops. If they were, do you think those black people, if they believe white cops shoot and kill people, cops are bad, why would they continue fighting and the police are there? If they believe the cops were bad people, why would they run from the cops, then pull out a gun and shoot the cop? If they believe cops were bad people and irrational people, why would they jump on the cop's car and start dancing? Why would they start yelling at the cops, throwing things at the cops?
Hold on. Because he's really preaching right here. Let's go back. Listen to what he's saying. Take this in. This is the meat and potatoes of this thing right here.
Now, white people are not supposed to profile black folks. Nope. They're not supposed to view blacks as violent. And blacks want the world to believe that they're afraid of cops. But if you're watching this anywhere around the world, or you're white and you're watching this, I've told you several times, it's a lie. Black people are not afraid of cops. If they were, do you think those black people, if they believe white cops shoot and kill people, cops are bad, why would they continue fighting and the police are there? If they believe the cops were bad people, why would they run from the cops, then pull out a gun and shoot the cop? If they believe cops were bad people and irrational people, why would they jump on the cop's car and start dancing? Why would they start yelling at the cops, throwing things at the cops? Do you believe that these people think the cops are irrational, or have they become more irrational because you've taken the teeth out of the cops? The lion has no teeth and no claws now. It's just a big cuddly animal. The cops are afraid to do anything. Out of all the stuff that you saw in the video, they had.
I want to stop right there because I just saw a video by okay. I just saw a video by the Officer Tatum. I had like two thoughts all at one time right there. But he had a video of I think, what's this? I don't know if this was in Tennessee, but it was somewhere. somewhere close to here. But there was a lady that just shot a police officer the other day. And he was kind of going through the video, like saying very similar stuff to this. He was critiquing the officer as well by saying he was like, the officer should have never turned his back, stuff like that. But the officer too, there were so many times that this lady like presented that there was going to be an escalated situation, and I can't help but think that the officer thought he didn't want to deal with the situation how he probably should have or really would have, but because of what you see in the news now and all this race dividing and talk of this whole big push of what's that stuff that they say, a cop, all cops are bad, like stuff like that, and all this, or he doesn't want to be the next guy, you know, that's being put on trial for shooting someone, things like that. You see that, and so he ends up getting shot, and then after he's shot, he returns fire, okay? And he only shoots her, I think, like twice, maybe. She doesn't die on the spot. She still backs up the car. She could have ran him over, as well, Officer Tatum points out, because the guy doesn't even try to stop her any further. He was like, he thinks he may have went into shock, but he just sits there. And then she drives off, and then she later crashes from the injuries she sustained from being shot. And then I believe she then later on died. But now all these people are calling for justice for her. And the thing is, they were like, are you going to disregard the whole previous part of the video, and you're only going to focus in on him returning fire on her? Like, if somebody tries to shoot you and you have a gun too, just take away being a police officer. If you were just a person and somebody tries to shoot you, aren't you going to return fire? Like, but then on top of that, he found drugs on her. Like, he found weed and some white powdery substance. They didn't say what it was, but it's like he was all within his rights of doing that. He found this on a simple traffic stop. She admitted to him about the weed, but it's just, I don't want to go down that whole thing, but it's just, the cops are so scared to do their jobs right now, and I have a few friends that are officers, and I don't talk to them all the time about this type of stuff, but the times I have, like, kind of just brought things up, they've said like the job has gotten that much harder because of issues like this.
Had to justify the takedown of the dude because they know that being on video, they're going to question the tactics of the cops.
Mm-hmm.
Can't tase them, shouldn't have tased them. Can't throw them down even though they don't want to go down. Can't put them in the handcuffs. Gotta put them in the back of the police car with soft hands even though they kick in the door and refuse to go in the police car. It always is escalated by these niggas. But something goes wrong and then it's a march. George Floyd could have easily got in the car, but he didn't.
Right there, buddy. Right there. George Floyd, that Jacob Blake dude, that whole situation they tried to push on us this last summer. George Floyd was getting into the vehicle and then but resisted going in completely and wanted to get back out the car. And then that's how we got the next situation. And it's just, man.
Every one of these people, every one of them could have easily said, you got me.
Mm-hmm.
But they won't. While being on South Beach, they were destroying businesses for no reason. People ask me when I went to Magic City, that's messed up that it's $300 to park and $200 to get in. Well, no, it isn't. You know why they were doing it? To keep niggas away. Because guess what? At white clubs.
Okay, also, I don't agree with it. He shouldn't be calling people that word. I think he throws it in there for emphasis and for also to show the difference between that word and what that's why I said you have to go back and watch some of his older videos, because he makes a clear separation of who he's addressing when he says that word and then other people. And if I'm not mistaken, if I remember this, he has also said he doesn't just apply that word to just black people that are acting a particular way. But I would have to refresh myself on that. But I don't know if he has to use it, but it does definitely help drive the point home a bit, or get your attention to stay focused in on what he's saying. So,
in Atlanta, they didn't have to do that. At the Cheetah, they didn't have to charge you $300 to park just to go into the club. At the white clubs, they didn't have to charge you $400 to do any of this stuff. Because the people came to have a good time. You watch when I was at Chops, wasn't no nigga shit going on in Chops. Why? Very few niggas were there. Black people cannot blame other people by how they're viewed, when black people are the main people causing other people to view them that way. If you're a white kid in Montana and you've never hung out with any black people, and you look at the news or you look at World Star Hip Hop, guess what you see? Black people bragging about how violent they are. Not black people being portrayed as violent, but bragging about how violent they are. If we want to make a change, we got.
I'll go back a little bit so you sort of interrupt that point completely. But so many of those like little social media accounts, man, they just throw in they reinforce those type of stereotypes and bad images. And like you said, it's in a braggadocious way. And it's like, this isn't something to brag about. Like, you shouldn't want to promote this type of behavior. But
black people bragging about how violent they are. Not black people being portrayed as violent, but bragging about how violent they are. If we want to make a change, we got to make a change with ourselves. We got to start valuing our own community, valuing our own lives, and valuing our own people. Until that happens, all you're going to do is have the same shit going on.
What he said right there, we have to start valuing our own. And I'm not here to drive any racial divide, but that's a very valid point. Though it's like, well, I would imagine. I guess most people's parents tell them this. I know mine did. First, you have to first love yourself. So if you fully love yourself, it's a lot easier for you to love other people, no matter what they look like. If you genuinely love yourself first. So like, and I believe that's kind of the point he's going for there. If they genuinely love themselves as a person, then it would be way easier for them to get along. People that, and I say them as in people that subscribe to this type of thinking and acting, then it would be easier for them to get along and enjoy the money that they put into going to places like this.
You see on YouTube that you see anywhere else. Right now on YouTube, all you see is black people doing fuck shit to each other over and over and over again. Change starts with us.
Yeah, and we'll stop it right there. Tell you, Tommy Sotomayor, one of the best YouTubers that I think is out there by far. I watch a lot of his stuff because sometimes he really does just hit the nail on the head, like what you are wanting to say, and he has the audience to reach the people. So it's great dude. But yeah, anyway, Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Also, check out my podcast, the Ambitious Journey Podcast. We actually have a YouTube channel. You can just go right over to that channel and subscribe to that. Thank you. And or you can listen to the audio of that on any major platform that you listen to podcasts on. Oh, we're still on the road to 5K. We got a lot closer over the past few days, so I thank you guys for that. But yeah, so when we get to 5K, we were going to do a giveaway. We're going to do a hat with my channel's logo, like this one right there. A hat with my channel's logo, a t-shirt with my channel's logo, and a gift card. So yeah, don't add on too much more. That's all I got. But yep, till next time.